Okay, so what we're moving into now is Chapter 9, Section 1, which is perimeter and circumference. So when we're talking about perimeter and circumference, we can talk about any figure in general. Okay? Perimeter is one of your vocabulary words. The definition of perimeter is just the distance around a geometric figure. Now, a geometric figure can be any shape that there is. So we can use the term perimeter to describe just how far it is around a shape. So if you look at example 1, finding the perimeter of a polygon or a triangle, okay? No matter what, you can always find the perimeter by just adding up all the sides. It's as simple as that. If you just add up all the sides, you can find the perimeter every single time. Now, there are specific formulas for some polygons. And when I mean specific, I mean that I'm talking about rectangles, okay? So if you look at example 2 has find the perimeter, okay? The first line they have there is this. P equals 2L plus 2W. Now, that's two different variables, actually 3. Anytime you see this big P right there, that means perimeter. That's what that means. So this means perimeter. All right? Now, there's also two other variables, that L and that W. Okay? What this L means is length. This W means width. Okay, so when we are looking at this formula though, it says P, which is perimeter, equals 2L. That 2 and that L, what is the operation in between the 2 and the L? Okay, so when we look here, if you look directly in between the 2 and the L, that operation is actually multiplication. So it means that it is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Okay, again, the operation in between the 2 and the W is multiplication. This is a formula. This will work for any and all rectangles. Okay, so this is for a rectangle. Okay. So 2L plus 2W is going to give you the perimeter of all rectangles. Now, is it going to give you the perimeter for a square? Is it going to give you the perimeter for a square? That's a question. What's the answer? So the answer is yes. Okay? All squares will fit into this category as well because all squares are rectangles. Okay? So let's try one. If I gave you a rectangle here, and I said this rectangle is 32 and 15. Okay? Remember what your formula is. The formula is 2 times length plus 2 times width. So 2 times length times plus 2 times width. What is the length here? What is the length? So that is correct. 32 is the length. So let's plug it into our formula. P equals 2 times 32 plus 2 times, what is it being multiplied by? 2 times 15, because that is our width. Now all you have to do, follow your order of operations. Follow the order of operations. Let's do 2 times 32. That's going to give us 64. Plus 2 times 15 is 30. Then add them together, you get that the perimeter equals 94. All right? Now, that would be like the same thing as if you just added all the sides together. It's basically the same thing, it's just a much quicker way of doing it. Instead of writing down all the sides and adding them all together, this is a much quicker way of doing it. Now, if you forgot this formula and you couldn't remember what it was, that's okay. If you just add up all the sides, that's fine as well. But this formula is going to help you complete the process a lot quicker and a lot easier. So, when we're talking about perimeter is just the outside. Okay, again, we are going to be getting into area, which area is everything that would be inside the rectangle. But right now, we're just talking about everything that's on the outside here. Okay, everything that's on the outside. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, when we are talking about polygons, remember we said we can just add up all the sides. Here's where the problem comes into play. This shape right here. Does it have any sides? No, it doesn't. Okay? That becomes an issue because now you can't just add up the sides. Okay? This is a circle. And with the circle, you are not finding the perimeter. It is known as circumference. Okay, so circumference. That is what you are finding. You are not finding the perimeter. Okay? Circumference, not perimeter. Okay? And there is a formula to find circumference. Okay? There's actually 2 different ones. I'll give them both to you right now. The first one is circumference, or C, equals pi times D. D stands for diameter. D stands for diameter. Does anyone know what a diameter is? What is a diameter? So the diameter is if you had a line that touched both sides and it went directly through the middle. That would be considered a diameter, okay? So circumference of a circle equals pi times the diameter. Now pi is a really long number. Okay, the actual definition of pi is it's a number that never ends. Okay, for instance, the number of pi is 3.14159. I forget how much further it goes, but okay. So the shortened version of it though is just 3.14. Okay, you can use either one. It's up to you. But there is a pi button on the calculator. So that is one of the formulas for the circumference of a circle. Circumference just being the outside part of the circle. Now, the other formula is if you are given the radius. What is the radius of a circle? What is the radius? Okay, so again, the radius is from the middle to any side. The middle to any side. And again, it is half of the diameter. So, if it is half of the diameter, we're going to have it as circumference equals 2 times pi times r. R again being the radius. So, this is, again, another way to write circumference, the formula for circumference. Okay, 2 pi r. Again, pi being 3.14. Either one of these is fine. Now, when they are giving you a circle, they could give it to you in one of two ways. They could write it like this, and then tell you this, and then say that this is 2 inches. Okay? If they gave you this, which formula are you going to use? The first one, c equals pi d, or are you going to use the second one, c equals 2 pi r? Which one are you going to use? So yes, we would use the second one here because the second one gives us the radius. And this picture gives us the radius. So let's plug it in. C, which is the circumference, equals 2 times pi times 2. Because 2 is the radius. Okay? Then that would, when you multiply them together, could you just move that 2 and 2 to get them, put them next to each other? Can you move and make it 2 times pi? Yes or no? The answer is yes, and here's the reason why. Remember the commutative property says that if you have all addition or all, or being the key word, all multiplication, you can just change the order up whatever way you please. Okay, this is all multiplication here, so you can just change up the order. So you can make it 2 times pi. What is 2 times 2? 4. Okay, so then we have that equal to 4 pi. Okay, then remember, 4 times pi is just 4 times 3.14. Okay, so 4 times 3.14. Actually, let's do it the other way. Let me erase that. And let's write it as 3.14 times 4. Okay, 4 times 4, 16. Carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, 5. 4 times 3 is 12. Move our decimal point over 2 spaces. So that's going to give us our circumference. Okay, our circumference of this circle is 12.56 inches. Again, they can give it to you in a different way. If you have your circle here, put it like that. Let's say this is 3 meters. Which formula are you going to use? Yes, the answer is the first one because they give us the diameter. Since they give us the diameter, you're going to use the first formula because that includes the diameter. C equals pi times d, or d times pi. So we're just going to put 3 times pi. Then you just solve. 3 times pi is 3.14 times 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. Move the decimal point over 2 spaces. You get the circumference is equal to 9.42 meters. Okay, so basically this is building on your substitution and your order of operations. That's what it's building off of. Okay. Again, perimeter is very simple. All you have to do when you're talking about a polygon is pretty much all your shapes besides a circle. When you're looking for perimeter, all you have to do is add up all the sides. Simple as that. Now, if you have a rectangle, you have that formula. What was the formula again for a rectangle? The formula is perimeter equals 2 times L, or 2L, plus 2W, where L is length and W is width. Okay, so again, be careful of that. Now remember, that only works for rectangles. Okay, it does not work for triangles, pentagons, hexagons, octagons, nonagons, decagons. It only works for rectangles. We can also find the perimeter, though, of all the other shapes, like I said, just by adding up the sides. Okay. Now, what is the word for perimeter for a circle? What is the word for perimeter for a circle? So the word is circumference. It means basically the same thing. It's just the distance around the circle. That's the only difference. Okay, perimeter is the distance around a polygon. Circumference is the distance around a circle. Two different formulas for a circle. Circumference equals 2 pi r, which is if you're given the radius. And this other one is circumference equals pi times d if you're giving the diameter. Let's look at example 3. Lily is drawing plans for a circular fountain. The circumference of the fountain is 63 feet. Okay? What is the approximate diameter? So what are we looking for here? The question is, what are we looking for? What don't we know the distance of? What don't we know the distance of? We don't know the distance of the diameter. It says, what is the approximate diameter? So which formula do you think we're going to use? We're talking about a circle. We know that. So we have two different formulas for a circle. We have C equals 2 pi r, or we have C equals pi times d. Which one are we going to use? Yes, we are going to use circumference equals pi d, or C equals pi times d, because we're looking for the diameter. Now, we need to fill in the information, or we need to substitute in the information we already know. What information do we already know? What information was given to us? So yes, in the problem, circumference was given to us. It said it was 63 feet. Ooh. Okay, so we know that C is equal to 63 feet. So we can plug it in. 63 equals pi d. Here is the issue. What does pi stand for? What does it mean? What does pi stand for? So yes, pi stands for 3.14. So we can just write it as the actual number. So 63 equals 3.14 d. Guess what we can do? Guess what we can do? Yes, so what we're going to do is we are going to box our variable, bridge the equal sign, and then yes, we are going to divide both sides by 3.14 because we need to get that variable by itself. You will be allowed to use a calculator. Okay, 63 divided by 3.14 is 20. And that's going to give us our diameter.